Flosstube, welcome to Snickerdoodle Stitch. My name is Kathleen and this is a channel about cross stitch. What a week. Trying to think where to start. So let me start by saying, wow, I hit 1,000 subscribers this week, and it still just blows my mind that there are 1,000 of you that are interested in tuning in to see what the heck I'm stitching or finishing. So thank you to all the subscribers. Just to give a little bit of info and transparency into what my plans are, I am going to monetize, which I'm eligible for now. And I know I won't make too much money because I don't have that many views, but I want to use the funds to do giveaways here to give back to you all for coming to visit. And depending on how much money it is, I'll keep you posted. I may do something like give funds to charity. I'm still working full time. I have a corporate job that pays me very well, so I don't need the income. That's not what's motivating me to do the channel or to talk about this. Honestly, it's becoming sort of a relaxation thing for me. I had a crazy week this week. I'll tell a little bit about it in a minute, not to keep talking too long, but to celebrate 1,000 subscribers, I am going to give away a $25 gift certificate to Garon Stitchery. So Garon is one of my favorite online stores to shop, and I was able to meet Gary and Ronnie at Stitching in the Wild, the retreat they held last May, and I'm looking forward to going to their retreat again next year. So if you're interested in the $25 gift certificate to Garon, just put Garon in the comments. It's just G-A-R-O-N. It's a combination of their two names. I did look on their website because I wasn't sure if they ship internationally, and it looks like they do not ship to the EU because of the VAT tax requirement, and they're just too small of a shop to absorb the cost of building that into their website so that they could collect VAT, and then I don't know what else is involved with that, but it did seem like a lot. I know it can be a lot here just to collect and hand off sales tax here in the States, depending on what state you're in. If you have an online shop, you have to collect from certain states and things like that. So anyway, $25 gift certificate to Garon. Just put G-A-R-O-N in the comments, and I will pick a winner on, what's today? I will pick a winner on August 25th, so that's 2 weeks from now. Okay, so that was the fun stuff that I wanted to share first. And I think I just said, but I can't remember already. I was really looking forward to filming tonight. I needed, this just like settles my brain down. If I'm stitching or other things, sometimes my brain keeps going on, just life stressors. And this was a week where I needed a break from that. So my refrigerator stopped working. Yeah, anybody who's had that happen knows what fun that was. Fortunately, I do have a freezer chest in the basement, and I have been working on using stuff up in the freezer because it can become like a black hole. So I have plenty of room to get the stuff out of the freezer in the refrigerator, into my freezer in the basement, and then made some strategic decisions about some things to sacrifice, like vegetables, which doesn't sound so healthy, but the vegetables are cheap. Cuts of meat are not cheap. So the meat got put in the freezer. The vegetables, unfortunately, I ate as much as I could in 2 days, but then it just wasn't going to be safe to eat them anymore. So anyway, I did manage to find a new refrigerator, so that's getting delivered tomorrow. Yay. Lowe's actually had what I needed. So I live in a 1970s ranch house, and it has a little galley kitchen. So my kitchen is not very big. It was remodeled. But the built-in place for the refrigerator is what used to be a standard size refrigerator, which was 33 inches wide. It's what, if you're my age, we all grew up with. And they don't make many 33-inch refrigerators anymore. So I had two problems: the size, and then the rest of my appliances are white, and I actually like white. I had kind of a kitschy, retro kind of thing happening in my kitchen, and the white works for that. But very few white refrigerators. I did find one, but they couldn't deliver it until October, and that obviously was not going to work. So anyway, got a new refrigerator coming. hopefully I like it okay. Not the kind of decision that I'm comfortable or really happy about having to make on the fly like that. I like to do all my Consumer Reports research, you know, do all the analysis, figure out which one is going to be the best deal, maybe wait for a sale. Yeah, no option for that. Had to go find something quickly. So that was my drama this week. I'm done for now dealing with the identity theft stuff. Got all of my alerts and red flags and stuff set everywhere. So hopefully that's the end of that drama. But other than those two things, and it was really disgusting hot the day that I had to run around a refrigerator shop, it's been pretty good. So I'm getting ready this weekend to do some sewing and quilting with some friends, and I do have a big stack here of fabric, which is going to, well, pieces of it are going to become project bags. So I will have like 6 more project bags maybe. I did have one thing I was going to show. So I had shown, sorry I keep turning my back away, I'm trying to get better at that. So I had shown this this keychain and, well, thingy, and I had some others that I got at the scrapbook convention, and it's Gorgeous Girls, which is from Santoro. I had the wrong name. I think I said Sanrio. It's Santoro. It's licensed from a British company. And I thought I had some Gorgeous Girls fabric, and when I dug it out, it is not Gorgeous Girls. This is a different thing, I think. I'm almost positive, but it matches closely enough that I'm gonna do a bag out of this so that I can put this on there. I bought a ton of this fabric to use for a quilt back, but I'm gonna steal a piece of it and then hope I don't regret it when I go to do a quilt back at some point. So anyway, enough digression about my sewing. You're here to see some stitching, and I have an FFO. I took my Project Quarantine and I gave this pattern away, I don't know, a month ago. And I made it into a quilted bag, so it's lined with the same red as on the top. So my project pouches that I make will actually fit in here. And I have another similar bag that I had made that doesn't have cross stitch on it that I used for hauling projects around, but I decided I didn't want this stitching as a pillow, so I went ahead and made it as a project bag. And if you're wondering, the batting in here is actually not batting. It's a product called Soft and Stable, which is made by Annie's, just for bag making. It's similar to Bosel, or I know Pellon has one, but I don't know what theirs is called. I've never used it. It's sort of a really thin, like 1/8 inch foamy stuff, which is then covered with like a felty fabric on both sides, and it has a lot of body to it. It's similar to the stuff that they use in headliners and cars. I know before Soft and Stable came out, that's what some people were using for bag making. But I quilted this just with the vertical stitches, because then it keeps its shape. So it will bend wherever you stitch it. So like if I turn it sideways, you'll see it kind of collapses this way because I stitched it, but it won't really collapse this way. So that's why I did the vertical stitching on there. So I finished my tote bag, and the stitching was on 20 count cork. It's 4 strands over 2, so it actually comes out 10 count since I did it over 2. So what the pattern showed like a little tiny pin cushion, but when you do it this way, it makes a rather large piece. And I did change some of the colors. Like I know this Let's Stay Home and Stitch were in a brown, and I originally thought I might use this on a bench in my foyer, and so I swapped out the brown because the bench is actually black, but it has kind of a red paisley looking cushion on it. But I decided to make a bag instead. So that was my FFO this week. And then I have a finish. I had been stitching the Tiny Modernist, Stitching Mends the Soul, on 32 count Grace Notes fabric, and I finished it. So here it is all done. I think last time I said I thought I wanted to finish it. I thought all I had left to do were the words and some leaves up here, but then I realized that I also needed to do this lace doily thing at the bottom. So that's done. And I had some back stitching to do, but I got it all finished. I completely lost my train of thought, what I was going to say there. I'm not sure why it's not centered. I don't know what I did there or what I was thinking. It's probably what happened doing this I started it at my dad's, and with whatever might have been going on there, I probably wasn't thinking straight, but it will fit in a 5x7 frame. So I'm hoping by next time I see you, I will have this all framed and ready for display. I do plan on framing this since it fits perfectly in a 5x7, and I did double check, and I've got enough on this side where I got too close to still frame it that way. So that's my Stitching Mends the Soul finish. Now, and you know what? Why don't I give this away also? So if anybody wants the Stitching Mends the Soul pattern, just put the word soul, S-O-U-L, in the comment. And I will draw for this on the 25th as well. Sorry. When I look over that way, there's a calendar over my desk on that wall. That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, just put soul in the comment and I'll give this away, and I can ship this internationally. So this one is open to anybody. Let me put this here. So remember, I'm giving that away. And then I have another finish, and this one I didn't even tell you about because I didn't really plan on starting it. But I have these two, when I was at Salty Yarns last year, that's an LNS in Ocean City, Maryland, they had this stitched up, this chalk squared from Hands On Design, and I just loved it. I loved the colors that were in it. It just was, let me see if I can get rid of the glare. It just was a really cute little piece. And then when I was looking at the patterns for it, I also like, and that one is called May. So this chalk squared is actually older. It's from 2016. But they did them so that there were 12, and like this one has more. So there was a card, sorry, I'm going the wrong direction. There was a card for each month, and you stitched around in here. But I also bought August. And these are relatively small. They use General Arts, and they are like 60 by 60. So if you do them on 16 or 32 count, they're 3.75 inches square. So they're relatively small. Excuse me. Sorry about that, gang. Now that I've had my coughing fit, which then led into a sneezing fit, out of the way, let me resume. I was getting ready to show the colors. So they are quite yummy. Sorry, they're a little bit, okay, I've got like a thread ball hanging here. These are the colors. They're very springy, summery, and I have avoided stitching anything on black for like the chalkboard look, partly just because I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things that is trendy, and 15 years from now we're going to be like, oh yeah, that's from like 2015, 2020. Because I have had my share of cross stitching that went that route, and I've gotten rid of it. I don't even know where it is. But anyway, these were cute and they were small, and I love the colors. So I did stitch one of them. This wasn't planned. I had some things going on where I needed a project that I could just do on Ada, because I didn't want to deal with any sort of magnification, and I was going to have kind of sketchy light And so I went ahead and broke this out and did one. And I'm trying to decide, I have a lot of different finishing options. I had shown this that I got at Dollar Tree, and it actually will fit in here. So that's a possibility to paint that and put it in there. Another possibility, there's a set of 4 of these coasters. That's you know, the art. That's just the thing that came in the coasters. My dad got these from somewhere. I don't even have any idea where. And he was gonna see if my nieces wanted them, and I was like, oh, I want them. I need some coasters for the living room anyway. But this would actually fit in here. And I haven't done the round one yet, but it would as well. And they stitched up quickly enough that I could just do 4 of them. What I'm trying to figure out though is if, how sealed this thing is. Like if a glass were to, you know, condensation were to get on here, can it get underneath the glass and onto the fabric? Because this is general art. So that's the only concern about the coasters. I may go ahead and do it anyway. The company that I have, well, I can't say that. Yeah, that's not true. I was going to say I tend to serve more hot drinks, but that's my sister-in-law and some people, and there's other company that I have that we do drink cold drinks. So anyway, I've got the little square thing. I've got the coasters. The round one would look cute finished somehow on this little piece, which is something from Hobby Lobby. I think I got it last year when their spring collection was, you know, like 70% off or something at the end of summer or spring or whenever it was. I know this was Hobby Lobby. I just don't remember what season. Or the round one could get finished in something like this, which I bought at a thrift store just recently. No, I didn't. I bought this at Hobby Lobby in the current summer or spring clearance. It might be a little big. Yeah, probably too big. So probably will be on this or the little square or the coasters. This stitched up so fast that I wouldn't mind doing 4 of them for the coasters. And I could do, I have 2 more retreats later this fall, and I could do kind of a fancy finish for that. Sorry, I've got you looking at the top of my head again. I really am trying to get better at that. So that is chalked squared from Hands On Design, and I don't know what this fabric is. I think it's called chalkboard or something like that. It's just from 123 Stitch. No, it's from Fat Quarter Shop. And I think I just searched like black fabric or chalkboard fabric or something like that, and it was Ada. And I've had it in my stash, and I've taken the label off, which is why I don't remember exactly what it was called, but yeah, so I finished that, and now I want to do the round one, and I may be doing 2 round ones and another square one so that I can do these little, it's a set of 4 coasters that are like in this kind of doodad. It's from Hallmark. So yeah, I might do them in there. I have to see if I like the colors in there too, because I'm not going to paint those coasters. The wood is nice. The next thing that I worked on was my Primrose Cottage Stitches. Welcome to the North Pole. It's this stitch along, and what is this, August? So June was the North Pole up here, July was the little train, and now we're on August, which is these snowmen and the wagon and trees. So then September, October, November, we should be done in November. Yeah. And I made some pretty good progress. And I know I've mentioned it before, but their patterns, the way they design the pattern itself is phenomenal. It's very large. Like each one of these little sections is actually, you know, this little Welcome to the North Pole, for example, is 2 full pages in this book. And it is a color pattern, but they're so big. And the other thing that I love, they have the finished picture of the section that you're working on the page, and they have the legend for the colors on both pages. So like I have copied it to make working copies. Not that I really need them because I don't need to enlarge it all, and but it keeps me from getting my book all dinged up. But since I have working copies, the colored legend is on both pages. The only thing I wish they did, I do have to mark up the legend because the legend only gives the Classic Color Works and Weeks and Gentle Arts on the legend itself, and I have to go in and write the DMC numbers. So they have the DMC numbers on just on the back, but not on the legend on each page. But I did the DMC because it's a lot of there are a lot of color changes and it's little small spaces, so I wasn't sure that the Gentle Arts really added too much. So I've made some good progress on July. I need to finish the, there's a wagon that goes in here, and then there's another tree on the side. So I've started this tree with the cardinal here. I'm going to work down, and then I'm going to put the wagon in last, because that way I'm sure if I did anything wrong that I can fudge it and make things work. And then there's a few more snowflakes that have to go in there, and there's a few more rows of white on the bottom. That one row is only partially stitched. It's only going one direction. But yeah, this is a fun stitch. I'm still enjoying it. I don't know, this month, this is maybe my least favorite of the month so far. And I think it's because I find stitching snowmen to be kind of boring. It's a lot of just stitching white. And this is the needle minder that Lori from Once Upon a Stitch gave me at Stitch, New Jersey. So that was, we had exchanged needle minders there. And that is on Fiber on a Whim, Milk and Honey. Yeah, Milk and Honey, 28 count. I don't remember why I picked 28 count for that. So that was all the stitching that I did. I did pull some stuff. I had mentioned, I think it is Hello from Liz Matthews as Garon Stitchery's Designer of the Month. And I plan to stitch on some of this Gift from My Garden, which I love. Let me see if this background, this green is 500. So if you know what 500 is, that's what that green is. It's coming out kind of darker and less green. Like it looks the same color as my shirt, which isn't even green today, it's blue. Let me see if I can get it to, okay, maybe that shows. You can't see my face now, but. So I'm gonna stitch that. I pulled some fabric, I pulled the floss in the fabric. I didn't start stitching, but the fabric I decided on was 32 count Mystic Fabrics, and it's called Everything Else. And I've never used Mystic Fabrics, but my LNS had a bunch of them back at Super Bowl Sunday, and they have a big sale. Sorry, the pattern showing through. She had a big Super Bowl Sunday sale, and it included fabric, and she'd gotten a whole bunch of hand-dyed fabric. And I went a little crazy buying the Mystic, this Everything Else. It is just so yummy. I love the modeling on it. And it is a cream, but I would say a little bit on the pink side. It's not pink, but it is a little bit on the pink side rather than brown or gray or, you know, tan. There's lots of different shades of tan. This one's a little bit pink. So I plan on stitching it on this. I want to get the flowers done. When I pulled the flosses, they are some very traditional colors. They're not as bright as the picture looks. Like the blues are the 926, 927. The pink is actually this funny 407, which is a little bit beigey browny looking. So normally I would be not happy going, but I like the bright colors and it doesn't look bright. These blues do not look like 926 and 927. These are more of a cornflower blue, but I saw this stitched. So at StitchCon, they had the trunk show and this was stitched there. So I have seen it live and in person. That's why I bought the pattern. So I am gonna stitch the colors as charted. I'm not gonna do anything crazy and change them. I'll restrain myself. So that is on my plans. Actually, I'm gonna take this to my quilting weekend, because if I get tired of quilting, I can stitch. Another good friend of mine, Lana from Silly Notion Stitcher, she has a floss tube as well. She's actually going quilting too. She's part of the group that goes. So I forgot to show something else that I stitched. So last episode I was talking about Mirabilias. What is with me forgetting Mirabilias? Last time I forgot it until the very end. I still haven't decided on the fabric for Nightingale. I've only had a couple people weigh in on what they thought, and seems like Banshee, the second fabric that I showed, is the one that's leading. But in the meantime, I just haven't done anything with it. I'll wait and see. I'm still leaning toward Banshee as well. But Princess Elliana, I had already picked the fabric and I had bought all of the floss with a voucher that I had for Michaels. And I started it. And it's not gonna look like a whole lot, but that's several hundred stitches. And what I've got stitched, this is when it really doesn't look like a whole lot. What I have stitched is the, it's this. It's the purple right at the bottom of her dress. And yeah, that's like 600 stitches. So that kind of gives some idea for how much stitching there's going to be in her. This section was actually kind of some big blocks of similar fabric, but, or similar big blocks of the same colors. I didn't have to do a lot of color changes. Usually, like if I got, you know, a section done, like this dark section, that's how much was on my thread or on my needle. But further up in the dress, it's a lot more confetti kind of work. Yeah, maybe if I get it really close, you can see. There's a lot more confetti that happens farther up in there. And there's 50 colors in this, so there's a lot going on. But that purple at the very bottom is of the dress is what I have finished, or I'm almost finished. So I'm having fun with that. I do want to stitch some more on that, just because I'm having a lot of fun with it. So I want to stitch some more now. I don't want to set that aside just yet. I may take the Mirabilia and like stitch a couple days a week on that, and then swap out, just so I have something to show you guys other than a Mirabilia. But I'm really like into that one now, and that's what I really want to stitch. It's not portable either. You can see the roller frame, or the scroll rod actually has 36-inch dowels in it. So the fabric is like, well, it's a whole fat quarter. So it's like 27 or 28 inches wide. So they're 36-inch dowels in there. So it's awkward. I'm stitching it in my floor frame. I haven't stitched in the floor frame in a while, and I do really like that. Another plan I have, and this will be a travel project because I need a new travel project since I finished the Stitching Mends the Soul. I'm going to Sweater Weather, which is the retreat in Philadelphia, sponsored by Rebel Stitcher, in October. And so I want to stitch this little sweater without the square. I want to stitch the sweater so that I can photograph that to make needle minders for Sweater Weather. But I don't want to use Christmas colors because there may be people there who don't celebrate Christmas. So I think I'm going to use these two blues instead of the green and red. I don't know, I have to think about that. I guess I may have to pull a gray or something else to add to that for the reindeer and the hanger. I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to stitch the sweater in the blues. I've had this pattern out in one of my little travel pouches because I wanted to stitch these Christmas ornaments. So you can see I've got some green and red silks thrown in there. And I've got a bunch of, I don't know, 25 or 28 count Lugana, because I like to do it whenever I want a Lugana, and I actually can see to do that without any kind of magnification or anything. So it makes a fantastic small project. I do need to grab a hoop though to put in here. So that will become my new very portable travel project for now. And okay, that's, now I'm sure it's everything I've stitched. It's my immediate plans, and I have a little bit of haul to show. I missed showing these after Stitch New Jersey, but I bought a couple project bags there from PT Bags. And it was partly because I love this one. It's like the Norman Rockwell Santa. I just love these two little kids in this chair. Well, and the woman over here, like altering trying to get the Santa outfit to fit. So I love this bag. That's what caught my eye. And I wanted to support some of the vendors that were there. So I did treat myself to a couple bags. This isn't the style of bag I generally prefer. My bags are all, well, this has got stuff hanging out of it. I usually like the clear front bags, and I use soft and stable, just like I did for the tote bag, and then it gives it some structure. It makes it more rigid, and that way, you know, if I prop them up against something, or if I have them stacked, they stay that way. They don't collapse or get crumply, but I don't mind having some like this. So I think she had a deal, like if you bought two bags, they were a lower price, and I love this one with the travel theme too. So I got two bags when I was there. So that's a little bit of haul I wanted to show. I haven't got anything in those yet. Honestly, they've been here and I forgot to show them, and I forgot that I have them. And then I bought, I don't remember where I got this, the Hands-On Design, a vintage stitch. So these are stitchy themed, and they're EPP, or English paper piecing, Hexies, and that is a quilting technique, or a piecing technique, I should say, for quilting. But she's made these sweet little pillows with them, and I did take a class with my friend Andrea to do English paper piecing, and I love these. So I do want to stitch these. I don't know when this is going to get started. I have to look and see if she's done this 1/1 or it's on 32 count. I was going to say I have the feeling the ones down here are on 1/1 and the bigger size is over 2. I'll have to look at that and see. But this may become my next travel project. It depends on what count this is down here, what kind of magnification. I'm going to need to be able to do that because Hexies are usually fairly, well, they can be different sizes, but this is on a pin cushion, so I'm going to guess they're not too huge. So then the funny thing was, I just came across that pattern in a pile and went, ooh. And then later, I was reading that last night after I dealt with the refrigerator nonsense. This is from a while ago. It was, yeah, the February issue of American Patchwork and Quilting. And I only kept the cover here so that I could show you guys. This is one of my favorite quilting magazines. It's actually from Better Homes and Gardens. But Kathy Haberman from Hanson Design actually has a Hexie cross stitch pattern in this issue. So they're these cute little flamingos that she's done on the Hexies. I'm going to see if there's a bigger picture. That she did on the Hexies and paper pieced them into the ring. Okay, there's not a bigger picture. So let me see if I can. So there's like a flamingo in a different pose on each one of the Hexies. I'm not really a flamingo person, but that is really, really cute. That would be like a super fun piece to give away for a small. I have to think about that one. That might be a small idea for next year. Probably not for the retreats I have in October. And where are we at on time? I don't want to run too long today. I did get this at a thrift store just this past weekend. I only paid $2 for it, and it's a really nice oval frame. I don't know what is happening with this MDF piece that they've put in here. Obviously it had something to do with whatever was originally in this frame, but it's a really nice wooden frame. I don't like the gold, but oval frames are hard to find and expensive. And it's not exactly 11 by 14. I don't know why that's stamped on there. So yeah, some stitching is going to go in here. I'm not sure what. But for $2 for an oval frame, I couldn't pass that up. So that will go in my frame stash. And then at the same thrift store, I got this Bent Creek pattern. And it's just a really cute sampler with stockings on it. And this thrift store often has patterns, and they're always like $1, $1.50. And sometimes there's not very much cross stitch, but every now and then I'll go in there and they've got some really nice patterns and things. And that's where I got the frame. And then Candy, the 614 Stitcher, was showing a Carolyn Manning that she got when she was at a retreat. And I have been wanting to do a Carolyn Manning, so she inspired me to go out and look at the website. I was gonna order patterns online, but then I realized I could get downloads directly from Carolyn Manning, so I went that route. And this is the one that I picked, and I think I told Candy on her floss tube that if she started this one, if she started her Carolyn Manning, which is different, that I would start this at the same time. But I know a lot of people like these for retreats because there is some repetition and you've got like chunks of color that are the same. So it doesn't require a lot of concentration to stitch on it. So they make good stitch retreats or retreat stitches. So I got that one, and I also got this one. This one has an even more quilt look to it, to me. And these colors would look really good in my living room. So that was my other Carolyn Manning that I bought. And I think that might be everything for today. I've kind of got a disaster going here. Yes, that is everything. So have a fantastic week. Happy stitching. And don't forget, if you're interested in either of my giveaways, I will do them 2 weeks from now on the 25th, and put Garon in if you're interested in the gift certificate. Just know that he doesn't ship to the EU. And if you're interested in the Stitching Mends the Soul, put soul in your comments. You can put both. And I'll talk to you all next week. All right, bye.